the fulfillment of the Promised Land. The thunder of chariots and the clash of bronze had finally faded into a memory. In the sacred stillness of Shiloh, Joshua stood beside Eleazar the priest, looking over the vast maps of a land no longer filled with giants, but with promise. The long years of wandering and the grueling seasons of conquest were over. Joshua, his hair white as the surf of the great sea, felt the weight of a lifetime of battles lifting from his shoulders. They stood before the tabernacle, witnessing the final pieces of a divine puzzle falling into place. The land was quiet, resting under the sovereign hand of the Almighty. Into this peace stepped the heads of the Levite families, led by a venerable man named Elkanah. He approached Joshua with a humble but firm gait, representing those who carried the holy vessels and the law. Elkanah reminded the leaders of the ancient word given through Moses that while the Levites would have no massive territory of their own, they were promised cities to dwell in and pasture lands for their flocks. Elkanah's eyes moved across the map, seeking the scattered homes where the tribe of Levi would serve as the heartbeat of faith for all Israel. The lot was cast before the Lord, and the map began to bloom with 48 designated cities. Eleazar and Elkanah worked in harmony, marking the locations from the heights of Galilee to the plains of Judah. These were not just houses, they were outposts of the covenant, including the sacred cities of refuge where the weary could find mercy. As Eleazar handed the formal scrolls of ownership to Elkanah, the Levite's face shone with the realization that God had provided a place for every family, ensuring his word would be taught in every corner of the inheritance. With the cities assigned, a profound rest settled over the mountains and valleys. Joshua walked through the outskirts of the camp with young Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, watching the smoke of cooking fires rise peacefully from distant villages. Joshua spoke of the days of manna and the crossing of the Jordan, his voice a steady anchor for the younger man. He pointed to the horizon, where the swords had been replaced by plowshares and the spears by pruning hooks. The enemies who once struck terror into the hearts of their fathers had vanished like mist before the rising sun. On the final day of the distribution, Joshua and Eleazar stood together on a high peak, watching the sun dip below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of gold and royal purple. They looked back on a journey that spanned generations and realized the staggering truth. Not one of all the Lord's good promises had failed. From the oath made to Abraham to the victory at Jericho, every word had been kept. The land was theirs, the rest was deep, and the faithfulness of God stood as an eternal monument, more enduring than the very hills of Israel.